Still on the live stream. Getting all set for our podcast. On.
Do you know if it's in your room?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple little. This is how we do it. It's our podcast. Waiting to load. We do a lot of podcasts on this machine here. Loading. This makes for compelling watching, but we're doing this live, and we're going to do the podcast here live in a moment.
And you know, I'm Dave Brown, Rob's producer. So there can only be one boss.
Dave's the show here. Okay. Let's get a mic check. Mic check for me.
Check.
Yep, sounds good. So 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Stan Tall with Dave Brown here with producer Rob. We just had waffles and bacon this morning, and my son Tyler joined us for breakfast, and we got Lucy in the studio right now. We're a little bit different looking here. Rob, what do you think so far?
Yeah, it's coming along. Like I said, coming along. A couple little adjustments, brought in a little bit more light, and yeah, we're making it all work.
No big deal, Ty. No big deal. Hey, you know, we're back on this Saturday. You know, for Rob and I, it's every Saturday morning. This is what we do. I mean, we very rarely miss, and I appreciate that about Rob because, you know, there's other things that we could go to, and well, we've committed to this, and I'm kind of happy with that. It feels like this is just part of my routine, Rob.
Well, the good thing is there's a lot to talk about in today's world.
Oh, man, there is. You know, the thing I love about Rob and Paige on our podcast is they have a lot of their own strong ideas, and I do too. And so, you know, we always kind of tee it up at breakfast a little bit. But, Rob, you brought a couple of things up, so let's just bounce back and forth. It's going to be pretty heavy on the politics today, I'm thinking. So, you know, we try to bounce around and have some fun with stuff, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Rob, you brought up that this morning.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know there's a big issue. You know, just jump right into a big issue up in, I think it's Dearborn, Michigan, where you know, a lot of Muslim community, big huge Muslim community, a lot of problems going on up there. I think there's some talk about maybe bringing ICE in up there, and that's caused a lot of heartache and a lot of distress. But it is kind of part of a bigger issue of you know, are they trying to declare Sharia law up in Dearborn, Michigan? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with the whole situation. What do you know, Dave?
Well, I think, you know, no matter how you slice this thing, once you, like you take a kid and you don't discipline them for their early childhood, they're going to be an issue at some point. And anytime you neglect something, there's going to be an issue. We neglected the border for 4 years under former President Biden. We just did. And then this whole Afghan thing, who was an Afghan shooter in Washington, D.C., lived in the state of Washington. The issue there was he came over in 2014, I believe, or 2013, under a program that President Biden had set up. At that time, that would have been Obama's time in office, but he came over, but they were given citizenship under Biden. And the problem with this whole thing is you know, Rob, is like the border. It was just abused. So now you're left to deal with the aftermath of that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Everything about the border has been bad. And so then let's take a giant step forward, Rob, and you go to ICE. All these people are on the left and everything, they're mad at ICE.
Yeah.
Well, okay, ICE is left with an impossible task. An impossible task. Go to World War II. The Russians and the Americans came into Berlin at the end of the war. And you know, the war ended, but then all of a sudden you had the aftermath. And what was going to happen? Well, what ended up happening? You had Germany split up in East Germany, West Germany at some point, and it was a train wreck. There's always going to be massive consequences for bad decisions. The open borders in our country have become a massive problem.
Well, yeah, we're seeing a lot of the heartache, a lot of the wrenching of the hands. You know, I see it from the other standpoint. You know, we talk a lot about this whole situation with ICE. You know, I have to say it's just heartbreaking to see some of these families and some of these, schools being put on notice, when the ICE people come in. And it's also caused kind of an issue with, what, what role are the schools like trying to, put up barriers to ICE trying to enforce the law, and like, what kind of issues does that bring? So it's really brought a whole mess of issues. But the fact is that people here who are here illegally, need to become legal, one way or the other.
Somebody said something the other day about a 5-year plan, and boy, it's going to have to get creative, and you have to start somewhere. Nothing in government moves quickly, but I also will say that the old saying, like Ronald Reagan, if somebody ever knocks on your door and says, "Hi, my name is Dave Brown. I'm from the government," run. The government's not the answer for everything, and that's what we've turned this thing into. And it's like that, I'm going to be really mean today. I'm going to be a little more blunt than I normally am. It's, we've gotten past Thanksgiving. You've had your turkey, your pumpkin pie, your whipped cream. Okay, let's just tee it up a little bit. It's like the SNAP benefits and all these people on welfare and all these people that have been on this pretty much most of their lives as kids and then as adults. And we've got to reach a certain point where we give back to our people of this country and say, we need to start training you now to be independent later. And so you're not dependent on the government for your SNAP benefits. In the past, those were called welfare benefits. Back in the day, they had literally the people had food stamps, and they were, the connotation was they were like colored pieces of currency, and people knew who you were. Now they just have a card and it's simple, so there's not that. And I don't mind. There's people that definitely need help for sure. I think our older population definitely is in that boat for me. I have a lot of sympathy for older people. Younger people, for the most part though, who could be working, are not working. And we know that during COVID, Rob, man, the government was handing out money like sugar babies.
Mm-hmm.
And they were giving grants out like sugar babies. And that's why our public schools are in a problem right now, because they got so much free money, and then they took off on that plan. And then they don't know what it's like to live within a real budget again.
Mm-hmm.
They hired all these people in DEI and all the Pride counseling and all the Black Lives Matter counseling and all the training they went through for all that stuff. Billions of dollars in public schools wasted on stuff that had nothing to do with education, had everything to do with agenda-based politics.
Yep. Well, again, I'm not going to bag on SNAP because, again, I know there's a lot of people who really depend on it. I do think, though, that there has to be some sort of accountability system. Like, again, get back to how can the system help you improve your life, not just give you a free handout for the rest of your life. And I think, that's what it's become, and it's become this expectation. So you're right there. I think we have a big issue, and I really think that we would be doing ourselves a favor if we would start vetting through some of these social program systems and really started looking at those and getting rid of some of the waste and really making those a lot more efficient, so the people who need the funds get the funds, and some of the red tape and bureaucracies out there. Right now, it does seem like it's kind of free for all. It just seems like it's a free for all.
Yeah, when you go to the point where you're looking at these benefits, if you're out there and you're on the benefits, Rob and I aren't saying that you don't deserve them. We're just saying, let's tighten this thing up and let's find out the people who really shouldn't be on them. Let's get it down to the point to have the real needs. If we clean this whole thing up and tighten it up and got down to a lesser percentage of our population that gets these benefits, then we can hand out more benefits to you if you're on those benefits and stuff. So, that's a big deal right there. We have to be efficient with our money. The government just doesn't have this tree with free money on it. That concept doesn't work. And I really believe that we've got generations of people who really believe the government is just
Come up to your phone, Dave. Anyway, we're trying to find Dave's phone.
Wow.
I hear it.
Lucy, you got my phone? Nope, Lucy's racked out.
We're hearing it, but we can't seem to find it. Oh well. Anyway, this is live. This is why we do live podcast. Anyway.
Hey Ty, can you come over? We need you for your modeling looks. We need to have Tyler come over here for a second, just really fast.
For the shirt.
Yeah. walk in front of it. There, he's gonna stand right here. We're gonna show off our sweatshirts right here. What do we got going here?
Oh, we got to come. He's got to come on the side.
Go
Here.
the other way.
Oh, I'm off this as well.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Watch your head.
There you
You
go.
gotta check some of this swag out. Stand tall with Dave Brown.
Yep.
That's Tyler Brown. That's Rob, and this is Dave. So yeah.
Good man
well,
right here. Good man right here.
My name's Dave Brown. What's your name?
I'm Tyler.
Tyler was our chef this morning, so thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Brown.
Great waffles.
Brown,
on there.
brown.
Yep.
So I think back to let's go back to where we started though. This whole thing with Michigan and there was burning of American flags in Michigan by Muslims, and I've thought this for a long time, Rob. I've thought if Muslims over there or whatever country was ticked us at the time, which seemed like all the time. If they really wanted to just shut this country down, they could have went into every major city in all 50 states. The biggest town, Memphis, Philly, Dallas, LA, Portland, New York, whatever. You pick the town in that state, and you have one guy, just one guy with an AK and a couple of hand grenades, and he just kills a whole bunch of people at the same time in all 50 states at the same time. They could have done that 30 years ago, no problem. They could have carried something like that out. But had they done that, I always felt like the repercussion, there wouldn't have been a safe Muslim in the United States at that point. I mean, I think the blowback would have been very, very swift, very severe. But man, right now, I don't think anything's off the table, Rob. I mean, people are being emboldened like never before. And, Michigan, I think, has probably the biggest problem. Maybe New York, as far as Muslims living in their area.
Even we talked about over in Europe, there's been discussion about, France has been taken over, by, not to sound racist, but taken over by, a lot of Muslim population has definitely increased over in a lot of the European cities, and it's caused some friction over there. Those are facts. Those are things that have been reported. That's not just my opinion. So you have to kind of wonder, is that what's happening over here? Is there some sort of effort to infiltrate our cities and take over and burn our flags and overtake our government? I know it sounds a little conspiracy theorist, a little tinfoil hat, but you have to kind of wonder, when you see people burning the American flag in the middle of cities. I mean, they did it in the middle of Portland. I mean, we saw that during the protests. So that seems to be a thing for leftists to, we're going to get back at you. We're going to burn your American flag. And people are just so, beyond that now. It's like, who cares? Just no one pays that much attention anymore.
Well, I think moving on, everybody out there is like, what is going to be our response as a country? Dealing with, what ICE has to put up on a daily basis is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're dealing with, there's an issue here in McMinnville where they went into school and arrested a U.S. citizen, caused a huge uproar, big headlines. Everyone was very up in arms. Well, it turns out that the student was apprehended because he was intentionally blocking one of the ICE vehicles that was in there trying to do an inspection or trying to make an interrogation. So, it's like, okay, when you hear the rest of the story, it doesn't sound so bad. It doesn't sound like they ran in and started throwing these kids around and just started plucking off kids out of the school. No, this was a kid that he kind of FAFO'd, he messed around with the police, and you can't do that. And he found out. And again, we talked again today at breakfast, a lot of these people in these protest cities who have been arrested, okay, what's the next step? Like, when are they going to be brought up on charges? Like, are they released? Are they being fined? Are they being sent a message? What's happening? So I'd like to kind of know what's going on with that whole situation.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of the lack of clarity on that kind of issue. Also, when you look at people not following the laws, like I can't get in a car right now and just go flying through Newburgh at 70 miles an hour. It's a 25 mile an hour zone. I will get pulled over. I will get a ticket, reckless driving. They'll probably impound my car and take me to jail. I have to get bailed out. I can't do that. We have laws on purpose. And I think, when we had 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we had no laws. It's like California with Gavin Newsom. I mean, I can't even fathom right now why anybody would vote for that guy for governor or president. He's he's proven over and over that he's not willing to do the right things. California is lower on every metric of scale of measurement of success because of Gavin Newsom. And they've had some pretty weak governors down there, but he's set all-time highs. And and then what I really can't handle about him is he lies. He just turns right around and goes, he'll look you right in the eye and say, yeah, the ocean's not blue. He's just like, dude, really? So people buy that. I'm stunned that some of us will believe Gavin Newsom's lies.
Yeah, I know some of the celebrities have kind of come out and so they just kind of made it a little difficult. They're doing like low income housing in Malibu, or doing like a lot of kind of crazy things that aren't really in keeping with the neighborhood. And I know a lot of the residents are pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
And he's making them jump through a lot of hoops, and a lot of red tape to get their houses repaired after the wildfires. So
yeah,
don't care for that.
Again, government getting too big is not a good thing. Government getting too big creates a lot of hassles for us. It raises our taxes. We just passed good news in Oregon. The no tax and gas tax, but all these other taxes, payroll taxes and other things that Governor Tina Kotek, I call her Governor Tina Kotek, she has just decided, hey, we're going to put this tax in. I'm not going to let the Oregonians vote on it. Oregonians may be a little bit zany. Everybody keep Portland weird. But the one thing about Oregonians, they've turned down every sales tax proposal for the last 60 years. They don't like new taxes. And so behold, you got 85% of Oregonians don't want this tax increase. And so just over the last 2 weeks, Representative Ed Deal, Senator Bruce Starr, and a whole bunch of us that volunteered put together a initiative to sign to put this on the ballot. And it passed flying colors in 2 weeks. And Tina Kotek tried to do everything she could to limit the amount of time to gather those signatures. And it still got done in record time. And I think it's going to be a momentum carrier into the next election because Tina Kotek is going to have to have that hung around her neck that she passed that.
Yeah.
And the thing about the tax is it should be left up to the citizens of Oregon. What's interesting about this, this was Republican-led. Okay? 35% of Democrats also don't want the new tax. So this was a no-brainer. This was going to pass. And when it gets on the ballot, when Tina Kotek's up for governor, this is going to be on the same ballot, and it's going to fail. Tina Kotek is going to lose her bid for re-election to the governorship because even Oregonians are like, no. She might even lose in the primary if somebody would run against her on the Democratic side. But I'll tell you what, I think she's going to lose that race, and I think that Oregonians are going to be a lot better off. It's going to take a while. Rob, let me ask you this.
Let me ask you, is Christine Drazen the answer?
I don't know. Not my favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
she doesn't
my
get me
favorite.
excited.
Not, she's
Kind of been there, done that, right?
kind of bland.
Yeah.
And if you're watching Christine, you need to jazz it up. You need to get a little bit more. I don't know. You just don't look tough to me.
She needs to come on the show, and her ratings will shoot through the roof.
If you can handle the truth, Christine, jump on. We do have, and I'm going to call her in the next couple of days. Maybe even next Saturday we'll have Bethel. Christine Bethel is that her name? She's from Salem. Saw her at the Reagan dinner, and she came up. We talked. I've got her phone number in my phone, and she's a really nice lady. I liked her a lot.
Cool.
I think if she can get a little bit more help, a little bit more traction. As Oregonians get out there right now, those are our two people running on the Republican side. And Tina Kotek is the lone Democrat running on that side.
Yeah.
So we'll see. How do you like that name, Tina Kotek?
I thought it's pretty spot on. Again, I don't have any historical relevance here in Oregon, but I can tell you she's not done a great job, and I'm maybe as impartial as they come, but have not seen her do a really very good job. And some of the things that she's chosen to fight have been very curious, like fighting the president on bringing the troops in when every night we're seeing fist fights in the streets and seeing smoke bombs going off and Portland's fine, no problem here.
Yeah, it's just
I think that just hurt her credibility a lot.
Yeah. Hey, moving back, I'd like to condolences from Stan Tall to the family of our service people back in D.C. These tragic stories are happening more and more often, and it's really difficult. These were just two young people, just trying to serve their country. And, I think right now where Americans need to take a step back is what Joe Manchin said, like yesterday, the day before. I like Joe Manchin, by the way. He's a very moderate Democrat. We've talked about this on the show, even though I'm a pretty conservative person. Rob, a little bit more moderate, maybe. We definitely believe that our country needs to, we need to move towards more common ground. And Joe Manchin was saying exactly the same thing. Like the Democrats, need to put down this stupid Mark Kelly, 5 other senators, thing about
the defying. You should defy the orders, people.
So wrong on every single level. That would destroy any police department, military unit, anybody where there's an authoritative structure, even in a business. You just can't. You can't live the way we've been living the last 5 years with the COVID rules, the Biden rules, where just anything goes that they want to go, and then we're going to cancel out everybody that we don't like. It just that's got to go away. Joe Manchin said, "Let's get back and let's go to the Republicans. Let's go to President Trump and let's sit down and have a real dialogue instead of But they got to put some people like Joe Manchin in there with like 5 other Democrats that aren't named AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Bernie Sanders, and all these people who just hyperbole everything. They need to put good, solid Democrats in there. Go sit down with Donald Trump and start hammering some stuff out. I think they'd be shocked to know that Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. He used to be a fairly moderate person for a long time. And so I think they'd be surprised how much success they would have with that. And I think they'd have a lot of success with their Democratic base, especially probably the 35 to 50% Democratic base would probably go, finally, some common sense in here. So,
Yeah, the thing that gets me is like when Donald Trump lost and Joe Biden was the president, people were not happy, but they were kind of accepting about it. Okay, let's move on. We need to move on. But boy, with Donald Trump, there was none of that. It's like, oh no, we're still going to hate him. And they got the DTS going on all over the country, and people losing their minds because Donald Trump is trying to deport illegal criminals and trying to put tariffs on foreign countries that are going to help us. People are losing their minds over that, and it's just a terrible look.
It is. It really is. And I think right now a lot of America would like to just get back to living life, and go to work, support your family, get through school. Rob, let's just jump into the young people for a second. You young people have this opportunity right now. We have record numbers becoming, because of Charlie Kirk. A lot of young people have really embraced politics a little bit, and they've embraced a lot more conservative values, embraced Jesus, out there. And, part of our 5 things we have here besides education, politics, people, and sports is Jesus. And I think a lot of young people are going to that route. And so with that, we'd encourage everybody, sometimes it takes a little time, though, to pull up a faith. Just watched the movie last night, drama, Hollywood, Knives Out. It's all based around the Catholic Church.
Okay.
And so we go to Athey Creek, Protestant church, so not familiar with all the Catholic things. So it was interesting because I know Rob's Catholic. And they're building a whole brand new sanctuary just literally 2 blocks away from here.
Yep.
Can't wait to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting closer.
Yep.
But last night, seeing a Catholic church, and it was part of a movie, but it got pretty real in there about some of the things going on in the Catholic Church. And so it was, a spoof, a drama, a comedy, at the same time. But it was interesting.
Sure.
It was interesting to see how some of that panned out at the end of the movie.
Well, the church has suffered a lot of blows over the years. It's created a lot of controversies for itself, but I like to think that the new leadership and the new vetting system is starting to work better, and I think we're starting to get good people in the clergy and people who want to be there, people who are called to be there. So, yeah, I definitely think that the church is energized with some of the young people coming into it.
We just had this talk the other day about the young people. I totally agree. I think, boy, if you're older like we are, we definitely need that resurgence of really good, solid young people who are willing to fight for this country, fight for the right, or things in our country to get involved in politics, to get involved in the church, get involved in your community, volunteer. And the one thing that young people have that older people don't is they have more energy, and they have a lot of creative ideas, especially in 2025, Rob, when it's a different world, and older people don't adapt that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, social media has changed, accelerated so much in the past 5 to 10 years. It's really difficult for some of the older people to really understand what it all is and what's going on. If you're a younger person who has a few hours, go over and show your grandma how to get on Instagram. You know what? Yeah, show them how to get on X. Show them how to do a couple Facebook posts. It'll be something that'll open up their lives quite a bit. But if you have the skill, you can have a bit of a responsibility to pay it forward to someone else.
That's a good way to look at it. It's kind of funny. It's almost a reverse thing here, where the young people are paying it forward to the older people when it comes to all the social media technology. Helping everybody within your circle of family, friends, your friends' parents, grandparents, whatever. Helping them out on setting their printer up on their computer. Helping them get into some different stuff that could be really fun for them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm still my first thought isn't to go right to like a YouTube video to learn how to build something. I'm still doing it the old-fashioned way. Just get a piece of paper out and draw it up. And the YouTube thing can be pretty quick on that, pretty fast.
Yeah.
Taking a break here for a second, though. I'm going to let Rob tell you where, but we really, as we're moving into 2026, this is going to be our year to really blow up, and we're hoping to do a lot of new exciting things for you guys. And we definitely need you to click on. I know for my social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, I get on there quite a bit, and I'm better at that than I am the podcast. I think it's awesome when people click on and they like what you're doing, or they leave a comment. Though the comments are great. Sometimes they're negative, and I'm like, all right, that's fair. And then when you go into social media, especially like Instagram, you get some of these people, and you can just look at their comments about anything, whether it's me posting or somebody else, and they're so out of line. They're just angry, or they're a hater. But there's so many good comments out there, and you see so many good stories out there. One of my favorites is Mark McKay. Mark McKay is a country western singer, top performer. He's working his tail off the last number of years, crisscrossing the country. Met him several times, had dinner with him. He's working so hard, to climb that ladder in a very tough industry. But Mark McKay just put out a Christmas album, and it's MCKAY. Look it up. He's really fun. He's a great guy. If you're gonna get behind a really good guy, I don't know how nice a lot of these entertainers really are in real life. Like I said, Joe Manchin, lifetime Democrat. I would love to meet Joe Manchin. I wouldn't even have a hard time voting for him to be president. Depending on who you're running against. But I like that guy. Mark McKay in the country western, genre. I don't know how nice some of these people are, but somebody I get a kick out of. I really do. I like Tom Cruise.
Really?
I do. I like Tom Cruise. He makes a lot of great movies. He's a little quirky. I know the Scientology and all that stuff, but everybody he works with and stuff seems to really like the guy. And the other guy is Billy Bob Thornton from Landman.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Good,
have you seen Landman?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the previews and stuff.
It's so fun. There's a little bit of swearing. Not gonna lie, but
we watched this just off taking a left. We watched the film yesterday.
What?
It was based on a true story. It was called Flaming Hot, and it was about this guy who was a janitor at Frito-Lay, who he came up with the whole concept of the Flaming Hot line of snacks.
No, really.
And he appealed to the Latino community. He was a Latino janitor. He came up with this idea, and he actually became the vice president of marketing for Frito-Lay. He was there for like 35 years, and was a real trailblazer in the area of Latino marketing. And he was the one that came up with the Flaming Hot Cheeto. Was the very first one. Sold them out. And, interesting, the first Frito-Lay was going to discontinue it because it felt like it wasn't getting any traction at all. So he enlisted his buddies and his family and friends to actually give out free bags of these Flaming Hot Cheetos in Latino communities in LA. And then people started looking for them, asking for them, and it really kind of created this huge sensation. The movie was a little hokey, a little cheesy, but no pun intended there. But it's called Flamin' Hot.
Really?
I thought you'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I might like that. Love movies, you know. Not all movies are your high budget ones, you know. Tom Cruise's movies are high budget. But no, I'll scope that one out. Right now, our big one is on TV. Like right now, Judy and I, we don't watch a lot of TV until later in the evening. We generally have it, you know, taped. But Landman's our favorite for sure with Billy Bob Thornton. Oh, dude, that's so fun. You got Buckle Up, West Texas oil fields, and it's rough around the edges. Another one we like is a little more mellow. It's called Tracker.
Okay.
Tracker's on. We know Reacher's coming back, and you know that one's going to be. We can't wait for that one to come back. Reacher. I'm not sure the date on that one, so we have a few shows that we really enjoy, and we look out for those shows. So, yeah.
You know what? The thing that my wife and I, for the past 3 days, have done this is that it's almost there's too much to watch. So like you sit there and you go through the channel changer, and you're like, okay, want to watch this? No. Want to watch this? No. Oh, that looks dumb. I mean, there's just too many choices. It used to be like you had 3 channels and that was it.
Try this one. I've done this a few times. It can kind of work. Just go to some random, you know, like you look up on demand and you're looking up your movies, and you just go up movies and you just look at something that's like, I don't like a lot of cartoon movies. I'm not there yet. I mean, I gotta get a little older, but you look at a movie and you're just like, no. Your first like, no. Try it for 10 minutes. Just watch, at least watch the trailer. And if you can get to the trailer, you know, get into the movie, watch it for 10 minutes. We've done that a few times where we're like, oh, that's not too bad. You know, it's not a classic, but sometimes you're a little bit surprised. The title or the picture, the cover doesn't really set you up for what it's really going to be. And then you end up getting a pretty good movie out of it. But I also, Rob, you know me, I'm really, you know, we haven't talked a lot about our music taste. You know, I like a lot of stuff, but I got to tell you, in this very studio, about a year ago, we had
Peter Jerry?
Peter Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, Peter passed away.
I did not know that.
I know I was going to bring that up. I figured you didn't know.
I'm sorry, I have to pray for his family. I definitely enjoyed him. I actually saw him at, I think it was Safeway or Fred Meyer a few months after he was on the show and chatted with him. He's a really nice guy. Really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was too. Johnny Cool Dude called me up and told me that one. And Peter was about 77, I think, and he was an old rocker, you know, guitar player kind of guy.
He played with a lot of bands.
A lot of bands.
Yeah.
Little connection with the Allman Brothers back in the day. I think he had a cup of coffee with those guys. But Peter came into my life through politics and through Johnny Rotter, and we had a big barbecue out here at our house. And Peter played the first time I met him, and we hit it off. And you know, I'm mostly a sports guy, so it was refreshing to meet somebody from the music world.
Yeah.
And but Peter passed away about a month ago, and so when Johnny Cool Dude called me up and said, "Dave, this last Sunday, there's going to be a memorial down at this new First Street bar downtown that's getting remodeled. It's 70% done, and they have a stage for music." And so Johnny goes, "You got to come down, 2:00." Well, I had to work at the golf course. I got out of the golf course a bit early. Instead of like 5:30, I got out of there about 4:45. So I raced down there, and there's people playing music, and they had a big screen behind the stage, and Peter's up there, you know, different gigs he played, and so all of his buddies were there. There's probably like 70 people there, and I go around. I knew some people, didn't know everybody. Well, everybody's kind of dressed kind of grungy, plaid, rocker, old person, you know, kind of. Yeah, I'm looking like a golf pro because I just came out of the golf pro shop. And so Johnny Cool Dude comes up and goes, "Dave, nobody's really had a good thing to say about Peter from a memorial standpoint. You're really good at that stuff. Will you do it?" And I kind of like, I wasn't ready for that, you know. But I go, "Johnny, I'd do anything for Johnny Cool Dude." And I said, "Whatever you need me to do." But are you sure? He goes, "Yeah." So Johnny talked to a couple of people and that were running it, and they go, "Oh, yeah." So after a bit more music, and I had a couple of cookies, and then people brought a bunch of food. So they were having a great memorial. This would not be a typical church
Sure.
service. This was music in a bar. And so I get up there, they introduced me, and the guy was the lead singer I hadn't seen for a long time. I coached his son. And he introduced me as the best coach ever because his son really liked me. Well, so I get up there, I get a good reception, and I just told a couple Peter stories. And I said, the last time I saw Peter, and he played right here in the studio with me and Rob, and he wrote a song called Stand Tall with Dave Brown. And we got to go back and find that because I promised some people I'd try to get that back somehow. We'd get it on the show and stuff. But you never know who you're going to meet. Peter was just a chill guy. He was quirky.
He was a rock and roll encyclopedia. He knew everything about
everything.
rock and roll.
Everything. And he just, so I told him the last time I saw Peter, he knocks on my door. I look out there, there's Peter. I'm like, hey, dude, what's up? And so he comes in, sits there, he always wore a cool little hat.
Yeah.
And big tall guy, taller than me, probably 6'4".
Yeah, skinny.
Skinny.
Got a green bean.
Yeah.
Bean,
So he sits down, we talk for a little while, and he liked the fact that I knew sports. I liked the fact that he knew music.
Yeah.
But I knew more music than he thought, and so we could converse quite a bit on a lot of the bands and the singers of the past. Well, he was going to give me a guitar lesson. He'd give me one or two, I think. And I paid him, and he didn't have much money. And he goes, you want a guitar lesson? So I think he just needed to make a few bucks that day, but I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And so I go get my guitar, get my amp, I come back down to the library in the front room there. And Peter gets his stuff out of the car, brings it in, sets it all up. And so he gives me a little lesson for about a half hour, and I'm not getting any of it. I mean, it's like, I'm just not very good. Well, finally I asked Peter, I said, Peter, can you just like jam out on something? Can you kind of like freelance and go into something a little louder? Because I like faster paced stuff. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Zeppelin, the faster Beatles songs, the Who, the Stones. So anyway, Peter just takes off. Boom, boom, boom. He starts. First 5 minutes, he's just kind of playing through stuff, and he goes, watch me now, watch me now, watch me now. He goes for like 20, 25 minutes. Not even kidding, Rob. He just solos out, and I'm like the only person in the audience, and I feel like I'm getting a special concert. Now I'm paying for the lesson, but it was $50. It was worth it so much because Peter comes out of this zone. He's just playing, and I'm like, he goes, "Did you get any of that?" I go, "No, I didn't get anything. I didn't get it. I mean, he was going way too fast for me." But it was really a special moment. That's the last time I saw him, and we walked out to the car, gave him a bro hug, and then I'm at the memorial, and I looked at everybody and I said, quite a few people have passed away the last couple of years, and I spoke at 6 funerals of kids I coached. I lost my mom and dad when I was younger. Judy's, my wife's mom, just passed away 2.5 years ago. I said, I don't know what about this one, and this one hit me hard. This one really, really hit me hard. I said, you meet certain people in this world that just change you a little bit for the better, and Peter made me better. And so anybody knows Peter Geary out there, he's the kind of person that when he knocks on your door and you really don't have it scheduled in your day, you just plug it right in because he's just one of those people. I guess I always say this to people, people are the best. People aren't the second best. People are the best. Go out there, meet people, get yourself into I don't care if it's a book club, golf group, whatever kind of, get around people.
The other thing, Dave, is like Peter's maybe the type of guy that you wouldn't necessarily like just walk up to and like have a conversation because he's kind of long hair, looks kind of maybe a little burnout, kind of on, definitely played the role of the rocker, you know. But I'll tell you what, when you talk to him, soft-spoken guy, I believe he believed in Christ. He was led by Christ, and it was just good to experience him. So I'm really sorry to hear that he's passed. I'm not sure, if he's got family, but definitely my thoughts are going out to his family because he was really one of a kind.
Yeah, he was. Sometimes it just hits you harder than others. In the memorial, Peter was up on that screen, and I sit down after I spoke, and I just listened to guys play music. the guy that was leading the whole thing had played with Peter quite a bit, and he comes out and he wanted to finish the whole show with all the main musicians. So there's about 7 guys up there. And then Johnny, cool dude, was playing the harmonica, and boy, he was killing it that night. Harmonicas just really add a lot to a set. Drums and harmonica to me are essential to, blues and some rocky sound. A little more Stones and Beatles type of sound.
Like a Johnny Cool dude was doing it too.
Yes, and yes, his wife was sitting right next to me, and we're both videotaping Johnny, and I'll show you later, but. So anyway, I'm looking at Peter up there. And actually, I teared up, man. I was like sitting there going, I'm just never going to see that guy again. And I was sad. It really hit me. But I do believe he was a believer and that he's in heaven with Jesus and stuff. But at the very end, all his boys sang some Bible songs in their genre, in their little bit of rockabilly, country, flavor, rock and roll. And at the end, the lead guy gets up and he plays. I believe it's give me a couple what's the big a couple of the old hymnal songs.
Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, that was the one. Yes, he sings Amazing Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Probably goes about 2 minutes on it. Typical Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes, Grandma, I know this wasn't your favorite, but we got to do it. And they just take off and jam, and they just intertwine all their music into Amazing Grace. And they went on for like 7-8 minutes. And so it's like that big song you get at a rock concert.
Yeah, the jam session.
And Peter's up there on a screen playing behind it. And I tell you, I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah, well, that's great. Great way to remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for everybody there, same thing. It was a great way to remember him. I'm not a big straight up funeral guy. I like stuff more like that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that. Sliding in here, I just wanted to say that right now in the NFL and football, we are at the most parity that I've seen in years. I think there's 8 teams that can win a Super Bowl if they get the right guys back at the right time. But Buffalo and Kansas City, 2 of our big favorites coming into the season, they are just not there this year. They're really struggling.
Kansas City lost to Cincinnati, I think, on the other night. Or no, Cincinnati beat Kansas City. They lost to Dallas. Dallas, that's what it was.
Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough out there. They're 6-6. I mean, they're in.
I'll tell you what. How about some surprises though? Denver at 9-2, the Rams at 9-2, New England at 10 they were at 10-2, I think, and then Indianapolis, but the Chicago Bears at 8-3. They just beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night.
They did, really?
Yeah.
Last night?
Yeah, they won that game. I think 31-20 or 31-24, something like that. I know they won the game.
I just watched the Super Bowl shuffle with the Chicago Bears every night.
Yeah.
Jim McMahon.
Well, you're dating yourself, man.
Oh, dude. Best Chicago Bear of all time.
For me?
Yeah.
Walter Payton.
There you go. Best New York Giant of all time.
Well, I probably have to say Phil Simms.
I'll go Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
Best Dallas Cowboy of all time.
Oh, Roger Staubach. Or Tony Dorsett on the 2.
That's pretty much a tie.
Yeah, they were both incredible.
Yeah, Tony Dorsett was a stud. Best LA Ram of all time.
Probably Eric Dickerson. Oh my gosh, that guy was great.
Ooh, that's not a bad pick right there. I don't know if I could argue with that one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he dominated.
Not Roman Gabriel?
No, Eric Dickerson, he was the man.
Best Kansas City Chief of all time. Who's better, Len Dawson or Patrick Mahomes?
Well, I never saw Len Dawson play, so I don't know. But
it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I have to say Patrick Mahomes.
He's a little frustrated right now. You can tell that team is banged up, lost a few guys, some injuries. They're not dancing around. Everything's coming hard for them.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening easy. And boy, in football, you just need some plays to go your way, and they're just not getting them this year. Same thing with Buffalo Bills, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought my Tampa Bay Buccaneers were making a move, and then they've had a rough month too.
Yeah, they've kind of went south too. So, but now's the time when the teams kind of break apart. You start to see the teams that are competing, the teams that are just kind of play out the schedule.
Here's a funny one.
I think Minnesota Vikings are just playing out the schedule, right?
Oh my God, I'm a Vikings fan. I'm loyal. They suck.
They're terrible.
Okay, so we go back and we trade all pro Sam Darnold to the Seattle Seahawks for basically not much. And the guy was all pro, had a great season, 14-3 for the Vikings. We got to get rid of this guy, though, because we've got
J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan, who blows his knee out in his first game, or his Achilles tendon, or whatever he did.
Yeah.
So he's out for his whole rookie year, never plays it down. But we're going to go with that guy. Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah.
Suck a duck. It just blows me away that they did that. Sam Darnold, only like 33, 34 years old.
Yeah.
At least solid 3 years left.
Yeah.
Solid.
Maybe it was the system up there. I don't know.
I would have kept him. J.J. McCarthy would have learned under him for at least a year or two.
Mhm.
Show us what you got. Show us what you can do. Before we just turn this. We're talking an NFL franchise. We're what, $2 billion?
Yep.
So.
Hey, how about the Dallas Cowboys too? They're kind of making some runs here.
Not a Cowboys fan, but Prescott had a pretty good game the other day.
Yep.
That Lamb kid can play.
CD Lamb, yeah.
Not bad. Their defense is getting there. So I'm over at my buddy Sam's house. He's a basketball referee. We both played a lot of basketball together. I mostly coached high school basketball. He refed it. But we're looking at a highlight of a Phoenix Suns game where Gar Hurd comes down on the right-hand side. Guy kicks him to pass, and he just catches and goes right for a shot. I did not see traveling on the play. I'm talking about old school rules traveling. Mm-hmm. He catches it, goes right into his motion, boom, referee rings him up for traveling just like that quick. I'm like, wow, I don't know. Sam and I watched it, and we're like, maybe, but it wasn't loose at all. Then, next play, Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks takes not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. Takes 6 steps on the way to the basket. I mean, he's 2 steps past half court, and in that entire sequence right there, he dribbled the ball, hit the floor one time. Mm. He cups it. So last night, I'm watching a little bit of NCAA basketball. So I decided to watch carrying the ball. Oh, there are guys in NCAA basketball right now who cannot even dribble without doing this every single time. Every single time. Every single dribble. They don't do anything like this. Mm-hmm. So then, before I go to bed last night, I click on, watch this. Go to a video and watch Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard plays for the Boston Celtics right now. He is somewhere between starter and coming off the bench. He's worked himself into that team after like 5 years. Peyton Pritchard had a great career at University of Oregon, had a fantastic career at Wesleyan High School in Oregon. And I saw Peyton Pritchard work out in high school, coached against him one game. Outstanding player, 6'1", might be 6'2". And there's a go on there to Instagram, go to YouTube and look at his ball handling routines he does. Rob, you'll look at that and just it makes Pete Maravich look slow. Wow, it's phenomenal. It makes Curly from the Globetrotters look bad. I mean, he's that good. He's worked so incredibly hard at that. He's a self-made player. Peyton Pritchard, I hope you're listening. You're one of my favorite players to ever come out of Oregon, along with Charlie Sitton out of McMinnville High School. Danny Ainge came out of North Eugene High School. AC Green came out of Benson High School in Portland. Richard Washington came out of Benson High School in Portland. We've had some players come out of Oregon. David Stoudemire came out of Wilson or Lincoln. I think Lincoln. Yeah. No, maybe Wilson. We've had some good players. Okay. But Peyton Pritchard would be one of my very, very favorites. So there you go. Rob, tell everybody how they can listen to us more and more.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say belated happy Thanksgiving and happy Christmas season to everyone. This year, you can, or as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Just search for Stand Tall with Dave Brown, and we'll bring you all of our shows. We've been doing the show for about 3 years now, Dave, so we've got tons of shows, a lot of great topics, some fun, some serious, some political, some not political. So those are all on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can get that through CarPlay as well. And then we're on the live stream through YouTube Live and Instagram Live. So that's what we're doing through the live stream right now. We're doing it right now. So if you're watching us, hello, how are you guys all doing?
Yeah, I think, one of those things as we move through this year, one of our big goals is we're going to be moving into more and more speakers coming on the show and getting their points and perspectives on different things that are, happening in the world. And we learn a lot. Hopefully we can pass it on to you. We also want to come into this 2026 election, be able to give you more stats, more data, more numbers, voting records, and things like that. I'm the chair of the Oregon Republican Party, vice chair of Yamhill County Republican Party. So privy to a little bit more information, we want to share that out with you guys, and so you can vote for the best person to get stuff done for Oregon and across the country. We as we move forward here, Rob, one of my big goals this year is we have people in different states. We've yet to trigger them. As we do, we want to be in different parts of the country. So we'll get that point. We'll probably dim down a little bit on our Oregon stuff. Paige's mom, Janie, will be up here. We'll be talking cinnamon rolls again at Christmas time. But like she told us, she lives down in Nevada.
Nevada, yeah.
And, people in Nevada don't really understand Portland nor care to. So our dialogue will have to shift away a little bit from being so local to a little bit more broader scope. And I think one of our people story things is going to be, what's it like to live in different places. Judy and I have traveled a lot the last couple of years, and we've seen a lot of the states around the union. And for an example, before we go today, Rob, Oconto, Wisconsin, love that place. A couple hours north of Green Bay, on the lake of Green Bay. We had a blast there. Never even knew it existed until the people we were with get an Airbnb and we go there. Charleston, South Carolina. We loved it there. I mean, you go by a building that says 1673. You don't see stuff like that out here on the West Coast. You just don't. The food in Charleston was incredible. The trees in West Virginia, we have a lot of trees in Oregon, but holy cow, ours are taller. There are a lot of trees in Michigan. They're pretty much got caught in a dryer. They're not very tall, but a lot of trees there going up in the UP, which is the Upper Peninsula.
Don't forget the Midwest, cornfields for miles.
Tell us some of your highlights. I'll throw one out. You throw one out. We'll finish with a little geography thing.
Well, a couple things. If you're in Missouri, you have to definitely go to the Arch or downtown St. Louis, see the Cardinals and the Blues, and then take about 5.5 hour drive across state and go to Kansas City, and you're going to want to go to the Power and Light District. That's where all the bars, restaurants, shops are. And then certainly the Chiefs games, if you can get a ticket, that's something to do there. And then once you get into Kansas, corn, Nebraska, corn, parts of Colorado, corn. And then if you go east, Illinois, corn, and then keep going corn.
Well, the corn capital of the world's got to be Iowa.
No, actually, the corn? It's in South Dakota. What was it? It's the name of it. It's considered the corn capital of the world.
Huh.
It's a little city. They got whole the corn palace. They have a whole palace built with corn stalks and corn ears and stuff. I'll think of the name. I have pictures. It's great.
Another great place to go is Rapid City, South Dakota. You go downtown Rapid City, you'll have great food. We had a great dinner down there. But what's really interesting, it's a small, big town. It's not big, but it's not tiny. But what they have there, it's interesting. On all the corners, they have a 6 foot tall bronze statue of all the presidents of the United States with a big plaque. And it is super, super cool.
What do you think of Boise?
Not much. I really don't. I'm not we've got a lot of people from Oregon moved to Idaho, and some of our best friends still mad at them. They kind of ticked us off when they moved. So, I haven't really been in downtown Boise, though, to be honest with you. So
the one thing I like is they have an actual stream that kind of goes through town. There are people they're trout fishing right in the middle of downtown. I love that. Awesome.
Is that by Boise State campus, too?
I guess so, yeah.
I have been to Boise State campus. Judy and I go to college campuses. We've seen Boise State, Weber State, Washington State, Washington, Oregon State, Stanford, UCLA. We've seen Colorado State, Baylor, Louisville. We've seen Notre Dame, North Carolina, Duke, Indiana Wesleyan. We've seen, more than that. We like going to college campuses.
Been to Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, we have been to Notre Dame. One thing about going to college, Rob, is that people don't realize it's free. If you go in the summer, it's not as, you don't see all the students and stuff, but there's still quite a bit of activity. But you meet a lot of nice people, and you get to see what they really look like, because you've only seen it on, TV from a football standpoint, maybe basketball. But now you're walking around the campus. Notre Dame is pristine, clean, taken care of. definitely the most manicured college campus
Sure.
out there.
My wife went to Stanford. She said that was just an immaculate, beautiful campus.
Been there
Beautiful.
twice.
Yeah.
Been there twice.
So,
Yeah. Stanford played basketball at Maples Pavilion. I helped coach a tennis practice with the Stanford top recruits in the country. They have a 3,500 seat tennis stadium, so they're big. Their outdoor swimming pools. It's California, so it's different. You know, It's so cool. But yeah, no, we like to travel around other places around the country. One of the fun days we had, the best fish and chips was in San Antonio on a river walk.
okay.
And that was after seeing the Alamo, which is in right downtown San Antonio. And you just feel like you're back there with John Wayne in that movie, but you're downtown. Quite a few homeless people in San Antonio.
Really?
Yep. Dallas, seeing the whole JFK, that whole site there that's probably a little more emotional place as ever. Waco, Texas, with Chip and Joanne, been there.
In a city that I went to that I was really surprised. I never would have picked this city out, but it was really interesting. Columbus, Ohio.
Go by it.
Okay, that is where the Ohio State is located. Now that's a 110,000 seat stadium that takes up the entire downtown Columbus. And what's really cool is everything is Ohio State in that. So there's, if you remember the old running back Archie Griffith.
Yeah.
So he actually has it's like a bar restaurant where they have all his Heisman's on. You can see his Heisman trophies. It's called the Archie Griffin's Bar and Grill or something like that. It's really an impressive thing. Very impressive. So if you like Ohio State, well, if you hate Ohio State, you'll hate it because it was all Ohio State. But it was a nice city.
Good.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to them.
There's so many fun places to go. I tell people all the time. I mean, if your life's kind of just like blah, road trip, go for a road trip, man. Get out there, get your car, and go. We live in the West Coast, so it takes a little while to get to St. Louis. St. Louis, that way, everything's. You get back to that Midwest, Mideast, and then all of a sudden you look on the map, and everything's like 2-3 hour drive. You're there.
Yeah.
It's out here. Oh my goodness sakes! A super fun town. We actually took an extra day on our 49-day road trip, and we made it a point to spend an extra day and a half in Galveston, Texas. We loved it.
Why so?
We were right on the Gulf in our motel. Judy got a great deal. The food was out of sight, seafood out of sight, and then just the walks in the evening on this big boardwalk overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. The motel we stayed at, though, had this big waterfall, and it was hot. And I would just swim underneath that and then just stand at that waterfall. And I told Jude, we'd been on the road for like 30 days at this point. So I go, we need to like take an extra day here and just rest up, So that was super fun. What other places back there would you recommend? Have you been to Dolly World?
I have not, but Memphis, Tennessee was actually pretty cool. If you like blues music and love honky tonks and things like that, that's actually really cool. Nashville's supposed to be a really big party town now. I've been there, but didn't really spend much time in there, so I can't tell you what Nashville's like. But,
3 times been in Nashville.
Did you like it?
Yes, we've done all the honky tonks, Dierks Bentley, Alan Jackson, Kid Rock, then some of the older ones. You'll walk into a bar, Rob, and there'll be like 3 stories. And the higher you get, the less talent. The new noobs are up there playing, and downstairs will be the main show. It's so fun, and there's no, you have to start buying drinks. You can just go in there and sit down and start listening to music and stuff. So take a lot of quarters for the parking meters, though, if you go to Nashville. But Nashville is definitely, we want to go back because we've had friends tell us about Franklin and some of the towns around Nashville, and those were super fun. Another great place is you got to go to L.A., Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
You know what that is?
No.
When we go downstairs to go to Leo, I'll show you the pictures.
Okay.
L.A. has the pig races that are famous in northern Minnesota. Famous because they have like a 500-seat wooden arena that was built probably 60 years ago, and they have this whole thing come around, and the pigs come out. I think there's 5 of them, and they have different heats, and those little pigs will have a different color. Just go. And then whoever wins, they're running around in front of the Mardi Gras beads and shirts. You got fuck out and tried to put a cookie on her head type thing. She didn't win.
Okay.
But bar restaurant right there, old school, crusty, out in the middle of Bim Dick nowhere. And early in the day on the way up there, we stopped and saw all the Amish people.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, those people can't cook.
Yeah.
They make terrible jam, terrible. What else I buy? I buy a couple things from them, and their food doesn't have a lot of sugar.
Yeah. It doesn't have any refined sugar.
So you're like, okay, no, I ain't eating that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know, another fun town, Louisville, Kentucky, beautiful town. Horse racing, obviously some big time sports. Muhammad Ali was actually from Louisville, and right outside Louisville is the Bourbon Trail. It's a famous trail that where all the famous distilleries are. Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, Four Roses. You can actually take a little trip all the way down this Bourbon Trail and sample all the bourbons. Pretty cool.
you know what's kind of crazy in town about bourbon and hardcore whiskeys is like there's that kind of drinking out here on the West Coast. Right where we're sitting right now, we got 100 vineyards within 20 minutes of we can hop in a car. So we're kind of like the Napa of the North, and it's gotten pretty famous. And a lot of people make a lot of money up here. And we have the wine tourism. So you got your whiskey, you got your wine people, you got your beer drinkers. And then you kind of have that island Kenny Chesney thing going on. With all the which
drinks.
would be my favorite out of those four categories of alcohol. I'll take the Bahama Mamas all day
The
long.
foo drinks, okay.
Yeah, foo.
Yeah.
You can make foo.
Well, the thing with whiskey, a lot of people think, you're just slamming whiskey. So a lot of times you're just sipping one or two the entire evening. It's a little sipping, more of a sipping drink.
Kind of wine.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like you're not there to like slam a whole bottle. It's just like get a little glass, sip on it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm up at Mike's Bar and Grill up the street here in our neighborhood, and they're always trying to slip me. I got my first Mai Tai
Okay.
the other night. Mai Tai was a little can. You can buy them now. They're making all these drinks pre-made now.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking this tastes kind of like a little foo drink.
Yep.
We get about halfway through this can. I'm like, whoa, hey, hello, what?
Yep.
What's just happened? Something
That's how they get you.
stronger than you think.
Well, we're going to have to wrap it up here, man. So we're getting to be almost an hour, and I know you got a lot going on. I'm getting in my Christmas tree today. Big deal.
Oh, man.
The kids are just bouncing off the walls.
I went to Home Depot last night, picked up some new inflatables.
Yep.
Because last year's bid it, and so I'm going to put up some Christmas decorations today. We'll finish on this, I promise. Halloween came in our area, big deal. We had the fire pit out front. We had the whole 9 yards going out here like we always do on Halloween. Halloween decorated up. People have decorated up. It's a big deal. Man, Thanksgiving just was like here. Almost like no fanfare, really. And me and Judy are just looking at each other. We had less people here, so it was different. But we're like, man, did that happen to you guys too? Thanksgiving just kind of appeared.
Yes and no. I mean, when you work for a school, you see those 2 days off in a row.
You're like,
You're like,
yes.
oh, okay, I'm circling that. So
Yeah,
I've been preparing for that for some time.
yeah.
But I get what you're saying. It's just like kind of showed up and it's here. Christmas again. That's always a hard one for me because always a struggle. It's always trying to get everybody where they need. But I do enjoy the season. I know it brings a lot of joy to people. So excited to kind of get back into ending the year out and getting into January and starting 2026.
Oh, good. I think, Rob, I got to say it. I don't mean I'm on a bummer part, but man, my parents were alcoholics. And so when the holidays hit Thanksgiving and Christmas, they drank a lot. And so it always was a hard time, a lot of fighting, a lot of stuff being thrown around the house. And it was hard. I just, for the longest time, I tried to psych up for my kids. But I don't love the holidays, and even my first wife was a little tense around the holidays, and it just was no fun.
Yeah.
It was not any fun, and I have to like make myself have a better attitude going into the holidays. So I really want to have fun with this Christmas, and just remember, take a chance and ask everybody you got a place to go. The last thing you want somebody out there by themselves when they can just come over to your house and just hang. Blackie Latteroot, Native American Blackfoot Indian, would come to our house every Christmas because my mom and dad invited him, and he was a single guy, hadn't been married for forever, and he had nowhere to go. And so my mom and dad had him over to our house, and sometimes got a little rough because he drank a little bit. But yeah, Blackie came over to our house because there's people like Blackie out there all over the place who, you know what? It's sure nice when somebody calls you up and says, "Come on over."
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Come over to our house, you know. And then, hey, there's no restriction on, you know, going to a movie on Christmas, you know, or something like that. You know, you can do something fun. So, we'll stand tall with Dave
You know what?
Brown.
Get in your car and drive around and see the Christmas lights.
Oh gosh, super fun.
That's
Yes,
fun. Easy,
absolutely.
free, doesn't cost nothing except the gas money.
Absolutely,
And every
yeah.
city has them. Everybody, in every city, there's some nut that spends years planning out his Christmas light display. Go check it out.
And I'm like, I've done it. Almost fallen off the roof a couple times, putting the lights up. I'm scared of heights, so yeah. But there are companies, if you want to put up a bunch of Christmas lights, there's many companies now that go out and do it for you professionally.
Better book them now because they're probably getting booked up.
They're probably done.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Dave, you want to send us out?
I will. Stand tall with Dave Brown, producer Rob, producer Paige, producer Lucy. You know, we're so excited to get to do this show. Rob, I love my Saturdays with you. And people ask me all the time, well, why don't you go do this with us on Saturday? I go, nope, I ain't doing it. Once I get locked into something, like learn how to play basketball, like right now I'm locked in as an older guy to learn how to play golf. And then our Saturdays, you and me, dude.
Actually, I'm going to go play golf tomorrow with Steve.
You are?
Yeah, up at King City.
Fun.
It's the first time he's been out. You know, he's been injured. So I'm praying that he has a great round. And
Tell him to invite me.
well, we never know. I'll you want to come with us?
I will go with you guys.
All right, I'll have to text him and let him know.
He'll probably say no.
No, he already made the. He's, you know, Steve is very organized.
Oh, very much.
So the minute there was a whiff in the air about possibly playing golf, that he had it all booked up.
And he's got to play on the weekends because of his job. So
Yeah,
good for him. I'm hoping his arm's feeling good up to play.
Yeah, it's kind of a trial run.
Is it?
Yeah, just kind of seeing how things go.
Yeah, I'm doing that with my back too. I haven't played around. I'm actually going to take Judy to work today in Woodburn at the mall, and I'm going to swing by the Woodburn Sand Greens and do a little practice.
There you go. Good
So,
for you.
well, hey, on behalf of Stand Tall, we hope your Thanksgiving was great, and we hope we'll see you. I think Paige will be here Monday night. So,
Awesome.
peace. This feels good to have this out here.
Yep.
I'm going to build a whole new wooden stand here, though. Make this more stable.
Turn this off real quick.